People keep asking, what's going to happen to jobs when AI takes over? And I can already tell what kind of person they are when they ask that. They're not forward thinkers. They're not winners. They're scared. That question exposes their mindset completely. It's not about AI. It's about how they're wired. The truth is, they're looking for an excuse. They're already preparing to lose. They want to be victims. Oh no, the robots are taking over. I guess I don't need to improve anymore. That's loser talk, and the future has no place for that kind of mentality. Let me break it down for you. AI is not the villain. Your complacency is, AI isn't coming someday in the distant future. It's already here, working 24/7, getting better by the second, evolving every hour. You want to cry about that. You want to feel bad for yourself. Fine, but just know that while you're crying, someone else is learning. Someone else is adapting. Someone else is becoming more valuable than you. That's what this is about, value. You're either valuable or you're replaceable. There's no middle ground anymore. The problem isn't the machine. The problem is you acting like your spot in this world is guaranteed. You think just because you show up and clock in, you're owed something. That mindset is finished. The world doesn't pay for effort. It pays for results. And guess what? AI delivers results faster, cheaper, and more efficiently than most of you ever could. So if you're not learning how to work with it, you're going to get steamrolled. Plain and simple, look around. Industries are collapsing. Old systems are crumbling. The whole go to school, get a degree, work for 40 years script is a joke now, and people still cling to it because they're afraid of change. They want safety, they want predictability. That's not how the real world works anymore. The future belongs to the flexible, the fast, the relentless. You want to survive, you better move like a shark. Keep swimming or die. You think AI is about machines taking jobs. No. It's about machines exposing weakness. It's a mirror. It shows you what you're not doing. It shows you who's efficient and who's wasting time. It's revealing who the real producers are. The world is being split into two groups, those who use AI to dominate and those who get dominated by AI. There is no third option. Now, you don't need to be some coding genius to understand this. I'm not telling you to build the next supercomputer. I'm telling you to wake up, to see what's happening, to realize that every person with a phone and an internet connection now has access to tools that can multiply their output like never before. The game is wide open. You just have to stop being blind and start using what's right in front of you. People say, but I don't know how to use AI. It's complicated. No, what's complicated is living your whole life stuck in fear, stuck in a job you hate, stuck in a paycheck grind because you refuse to adapt. You're already spending hours online scrolling, consuming. Why not spend that time learning something that will make you unstoppable? AI is like a hammer. It doesn't build the house on its own, but if you know how to swing it, you can create an empire. It's a tool. It won't make you rich by itself, but it will amplify everything about you. If you're lazy, it will make your laziness more obvious. If you're efficient, it will make your work 10 times more valuable. That's the truth. The question isn't, will AI take my job? The question is, do I bring enough value that I can't be replaced? Let's talk about that, value. Everyone loves to talk about passion, dreams, goals. But no one talks about being valuable. If you're not solving problems, if you're not making money move, if you're not bringing results, then you're just taking up space. AI doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your seniority or your resume. It cares about outcomes, and if it can do what you do better, then you better evolve or disappear, and that's exactly what's happening. Businesses are learning. CEOs are realizing they don't need 10 people when one guy with the right tools can do the job of all 10, faster, without mistakes, without sick days, without drama. So tell me, what are you doing to make yourself irreplaceable? What are you doing to compete with that kind of efficiency? If your answer is nothing, then don't be surprised when you're left behind. But here's the good news. Most people won't adapt. Most people are too soft, too distracted, too comfortable in their bubble of mediocrity. So if you're the one who moves, who studies, who experiments, who takes AI and learns how to build, market, analyze, create, then you're not competing with AI. You're using it to rise above everyone else. That's the cheat code, not fighting the machine, but becoming the master of it. Think about it. This is the greatest moment in history to reinvent yourself. You don't need a team anymore. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait years for an opportunity. You can build an online brand today. You can launch a business today. You can create income streams that run while you sleep. All of that is possible if you're willing to do the work. But that's the catch, right? Most people don't want to do the work. They want comfort. They want the illusion of safety. They want someone to tell them what to do and when to do it. That world is over. It's never coming back. The future is harsh. The future is fast. The future belongs to people who are ruthless with their time and intentional with their energy. If you're not getting better, you're getting left behind. You think success is about luck. It's about speed, the speed of execution, the speed of learning, the speed of adaptation. AI just makes that even more real. You can move 10 times faster than your competition now if you stop making excuses. But you've got to stop operating like it's 2010. The world doesn't care about your degree. It cares about what you can do, how fast you can do it, and whether you can do it better than the next guy. Everything has changed. And instead of crying about it, you should be celebrating it, because it means that no one has an advantage over you, except discipline. If you can discipline yourself to learn this new world, to use these new tools, to outwork and outthink everyone around you, you will dominate. Not just survive, dominate. You can build content using AI. You can create sales funnels. You can write ads. You can automate customer service. You can analyze data that would take teams days to understand. You can launch and scale ideas in hours that used to take weeks. That's the kind of power you're holding in your hands right now. And what are most people doing with it? Watching memes and complaining about how the world is changing too fast. The truth is, they don't want it bad enough. They say they want success, but they're addicted to comfort. They want results, but they're afraid of change. You can't have both. You either evolve or you get erased. That's where we're headed. A world where only the fastest, sharpest, most disciplined people rise to the top. AI didn't kill opportunity. It multiplied it, but only for those who are ready to grab it by the throat. The most dangerous person in the world right now is the one who is disciplined, focused, and fluent in modern tools. That person doesn't need a big team. That person doesn't need a boss. That person doesn't need approval. That person can build, scale, and destroy with efficiency that would have been impossible 10 years ago. You can be that person, but you have to stop thinking like an employee. Start thinking like a leader. Like a builder, like a machine. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being relentless, trying, failing, adjusting, and repeating until you break through. And once you do, you'll realize that the old world, where you worked 40 hours a week for someone else, hoping for a raise, is nothing but a trap, a slow death. You weren't born for that. You were born to build. To expand, to take power, not beg for it, but power doesn't wait for you. You have to chase it. You have to fight for it, and right now, the fight is mental, it's digital, it's technological. If you're not sharpening your mind and mastering these tools, then someone else is. And they're going to own the future you think you deserve. You either become one of the few who rise, or you become one of the many who watch. That's the game now. Adapt or die, learn or lose, dominate or disappear. So now the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit there, scroll on your phone, laugh at videos, complain to your friends, and pretend that somehow things are going to fix themselves? Or are you going to get serious, flip the switch, and start moving like your future depends on it? Because it does. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to knock on your door and hand you a golden opportunity. This era doesn't reward passengers, it rewards drivers. It rewards the people who are decisive, calculated, and brutal about their focus. The people who see the future coming and don't run from it. They run toward it and make it theirs. You think the AI revolution is waiting for you. You think it's going to slow down because you haven't caught up yet? That's not how this works. The only pace AI knows is faster. The only direction it moves is forward. Every second you waste, someone else is catching up, passing you, taking the spot you think you deserve. While you're debating whether to learn something new, someone out there is building with tools you haven't even heard of yet. While you're convincing yourself it's too late, they're cashing in on your hesitation. And that's where the real pain begins, not when AI takes your job, but when you realize you did nothing to stop it. that you had every chance to adapt, that you had access to tools, resources, training, communities, platforms, but you chose ease. You chose entertainment over elevation. You chose distraction over direction. And by the time you're desperate, it's already too late. The window doesn't stay open forever. So what do? You outlearn everyone. You outmove everyone. You become the type of person who can't be replaced. Because if you're still thinking the way people thought 10 years ago, you're already dead in the water. This new world rewards those who can scale their impact, not those who sit around waiting to be told what to do. You want to matter, you want to earn, then stop asking for permission and start building, start creating, start leveraging. Let's get something clear. AI isn't going to kill creativity. It's going to expose who's truly creative and who's just been hiding behind systems that carried them. It's going to show who can think, who can solve, who can lead. Everyone else is going to be found out. And that's not a threat, that's a gift, because if you're willing to grow, this is your time. If you're willing to grind, this is your edge. The old system had gatekeepers, the new system has accelerators. You don't need a job anymore to make money, you need skills. You need ideas. You need execution. You need to understand how to take a problem, plug it into AI, and generate a solution faster than anyone else. That's power, that's modern warfare. The people who get it are already eating. They're creating content daily, building audiences, launching brands, monetizing knowledge, leveraging automation. They're 5 steps ahead and they're not stopping. The economy is changing hands, the throne is empty, and it's not going to be filled by the loudest person, or the oldest, or the one with the prettiest resume. It's going to be filled by the most adaptable, the most strategic, the most relentless. That's the game now, and the crazy part. Most people are still asleep. They think it's sci-fi, they think they've got time, but by the time they wake up, the land is already claimed. The gold is already mined. You want to win in this new world. Learn how to move like a one-man army. Learn how to create without waiting, how to build without a big team, how to sell without begging. Learn how to replace time with systems and effort with intelligence. This isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter, sharper, faster. It's about doing what 10 people used to do, but doing it alone with machines that obey your every command if you know how to use them. Most people won't even try. They'll sit in fear, waiting for certainty. They'll keep applying for jobs that don't exist anymore. They'll complain that the system is broken without realizing that the system is irrelevant. You can build your own system now. You can create your own path, but only if you're willing to leave the herd behind. Only if you're willing to do what others are scared to even attempt. And that's why the gap is growing. Not because some people are lucky, but because some people are brave, brave enough to learn, brave enough to fail, brave enough to take responsibility instead of looking for someone to blame. You can either be part of that group, or you can keep watching from the sidelines as they take everything you thought you were entitled to. They'll take the attention, the money, the influence, the freedom. And they'll do it without apologizing, the harsh truth. If you're not building, you're being built over. If you're not creating, you're being consumed. If you're not learning, you're being outpaced. Every single day is an exam, and AI just raised the difficulty level. The good news, the tools are all available. You're not shut out. You're not doomed, but you are required to change. You are required to drop the ego and become a student again. And that's the hardest part for most people. They don't want to start over. But you don't have a choice. The old version of you can't survive in this world. You need to upgrade your mind, your habits, your skill set, your speed. You need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Comfortable experimenting, comfortable failing fast and adjusting. The winners in this era are not the ones who avoid mistakes. They're the ones who make them quickly, learn instantly, and evolve without hesitation. It's not about perfection anymore. It's about momentum. It's about execution. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to be the most experienced. You need to be willing to try things while everyone else is stuck in theory. While they're thinking, you're doing. While they're planning, you're testing. While they're hoping, you're building. That's the difference between those who watch history and those who make it. You want peace of mind in this future. Don't look for security, look for leverage, build assets, build skills, build systems, build distribution. Those are the things that protect you, not a paycheck, not a boss, not a degree. If you're still clinging to those for safety, you've already lost the war. The future belongs to those who can produce, regardless of the environment, who can take raw input and turn it into impact. Those are the people who thrive no matter what changes, and AI is just gasoline. It pours fuel on whatever fire you've built. If you're slow, it burns you. If you're on fire, it launches you into orbit. So the real question isn't what will AI do, it's what are you doing with it? Because right now, someone out there with less experience than you, less education, less talent, is winning because they're using the tools, they're making the plays, they're moving. The difference between success and failure in this age is not intelligence. It's intensity. You don't need to be a genius. You need to be obsessed. Obsessed with getting better. Obsessed with staying sharp. Obsessed with staying ahead. AI doesn't demand genius. It demands grit. Speed, clarity, and relentless discipline. Most people won't make it. That's the truth. They'll fall into comfort, into delay, into endless consumption with no action. But if you're the type who's willing to bleed now so you can eat forever, this is your moment. This is your time to break free from the system, to create your own path, to design your life on your terms, not based on what the world used to be, but based on what it's becoming. The doors are wide open, but only for those who move fast, who move smart, who take full accountability for their future. If you're waiting for someone to push you, you're done. If you're waiting for the right time, you're late. The right time was yesterday. The right time was when you first felt the discomfort. When you first felt that your life wasn't where it should be. That was the call. This is the answer. AI won't destroy you. Your refusal to evolve will, your attachment to old identities, your fear of starting fresh, your addiction to comfort, that's what's going to bury you. But if you're willing to drop all that, if you're willing to become something new, something faster, sharper, more adaptable than you've ever been before, you'll become untouchable. Because in the end, this isn't about machines versus humans. It's about lions versus sheep, and AI is the terrain. Brutal, fast, unforgiving. The lions will dominate it. The sheep will get eaten alive. You choose who you are every day, every action, every habit. That choice is yours, and once you make it, once you choose to step up and take what's yours, nothing, not even the smartest machine on earth, can stop you. Here's the truth, and it's not sugar-coated. This new world isn't waiting for you to catch up. It doesn't care about your fears, your comfort, or your excuses. The age of average is over. The era of survival through routine is dead. You're either rising or you're rotting. AI is not your enemy. It's a mirror, and it's revealing exactly who's real and who's just pretending. You have two choices right now: evolve or evaporate, adapt or accept defeat. Either you become the kind of person who commands the future, or you become a casualty of it. The weak will whine, the lazy will lag. But the relentless, the focused, the obsessed, they will dominate. This is the greatest opportunity of your lifetime, but it demands the greatest version of you. So stop doubting, stop delaying, and stop acting like time is on your side, because it's not. Take the power, use the tools, master the machines, or get left behind.